Hey guys, Drip Hill on the most targeted citizen. It is cold in the south. Cold in the south. My hands are frozen. Mason and I went out to Dallas, North Carolina last night to purchase a set of wheels and tires for the Square Body Blue project. Well, we found a set of wheels and tires. Also, I can't even see out of my back glass because of wheels and tires. On this same truck that we went to get the wheels and tires off of, I was aware that it had a lift kit, and in the negotiation, the price was $250 for wheels and tires and the blocks for the lift kit. Well, he didn't specify blocks, he said lift kit. So I'm thinking I'm going to go down there and I'm going to get the leaf springs, I'm going to get the shocks, I'm going to get everything. Now that sounds naive to some, but when somebody says, hey, this is what it is, that's what it is, and that's what I kind of expect. Well, I get there and he don't even have the blocks ready. Blocks is like just a big steel block, or some of them are urethane blocks that the leaf springs sit on. Well, when I get there, we start negotiating. I wanted the whole truck. I didn't need the whole truck. Definitely don't need another vehicle. It was a short bed. It's like a 74 short bed Chevy with a 4 or 6 inch lift on it. And went ahead and told him I'll give $250 for the wheels. I said, let's talk about the lift kit. And I priced the lift kits online, and they range from $700 to $1,000 depending on who you're buying them from. So I said, well, how much are we going to do? Just get it all for him. And he said, well, you help me take them off. He said, I'll charge $100 for the lift kit. $100 for the lift kit. That's shocks. I think this is a Rancho lift kit, which is a very high quality. Rancho's good products. Rancho lift kit. That's the leaf springs. That's the blocks. I don't get the U-bolts. The U-bolts are pretty expensive. I don't get the U-bolts, and I don't get the brake lines. Those aren't. The U-bolts are included in the kit, but the brake lines aren't. So I got to go back today and pull 2 more leaves off the bottom of the truck, and the stabilizer shock, the Pitman arm, and I think the stabilizer shock that's on the front axle. But I got a heck of a deal. I got pretty much, I'll have this whole truck lifted up. And by the way, he didn't specify the tire. I got 38s. A set of 38s. We are officially in monster truck territory here, and I didn't even mean it. I didn't even mean to. But if you want to see how much tires I got in the back of this truck, this is what my truck looks like now. It is slammed just with wheels and tires. 38-inch. That's insanity. I didn't even mean to do that, but I did it. So we'll have to get what we got when we get it. If these don't roll out, kill me. Oh, I need to adjust this. Oh, gosh. This is the block for the lift kit. That's massive. Oh, and these are this is really going to slow this truck down. I hope that's a 400 in there, because these right here weigh about 150 pounds a piece. Just these. The leaf springs are about 100 pounds a piece too. Ugh. Monster truck. This is the cure for your square body blues. Outrageous. I can't even believe I got this good of a deal. That's craziness. So we still got to go down there and get 2 more leaf springs. But this is crazy. The wheels really aren't that bad. They got a little bit of surface rust on their pace. It says Pacers on them. But these are either 12s or 15-inch wheels, which are massive. Oh, gosh. hands are cold. But these are Super Swamper 36 by 14.5 by 15s. 36 is not 30 gates. But still, a lot of tread on them. But look how massive that wheel is. And if you guys know me, how good I do with getting rust off, these are going to look like brand new by the time I get through with them. I thought maybe they were 35s, and I'll show you what 35s are. My Bronco has 35s, and that's a good, healthy sized tire. I mean, it's not overly big, but it's a lot bigger than stock. My truck came stock with 31.5s. I think 30 or 31s, but this is a 35, and you see the size of it. Well, I'll put the 36s up beside mine. You'll start to see the massive difference. And last night I came in the house and I had my phone under my arm. Got in the house, I forgot I had my phone under my arm. I opened my arm up, my phone fell right on top of my heater and just cracked the dang protective screen, which sucks. Oh gosh. I looked for this all night last night at that place where we're at. I looked inside this truck 10 different times. I walked around for 40 minutes looking for this breaker bar. I've had this breaker bar. It came on my first jack when I was 17. I looked for 45 minutes for this thing last night and it was nowhere to be found. And I searched my truck, but I come out here today and it's in the back of my truck. That's more crap. And I'll show you that. That's how big the shocks are. These are, I believe, Rancho Performance. So I'll be taking these, painting them, and cleaning them up. You can buy all these right here new. They're just dust protectors. They just keep the mud and stuff off that. But we'll clean them and paint them up because they still got plenty of life left in them. This is the Prozac to square body blues, but the amount of work that this is going to take in mud is beyond anything I've done so far to that truck. The headache of welding junk metal together to put a floorboard in, and I'm so ashamed of that floorboard. I want to cut it out and start over. I should have used a good piece of quality steel and put in it instead of recycling, but you know what we do on this channel. We save as much money as we can. Besides the junk parts I wasted money on, right now in this truck with these parts, besides that $500 that's pissed away, I'm going to try to recoup that somehow. I mean, I got a radiator support out of it, and I'm going to try to sell him that one fender, the driver's side fender, or trade him because he's got a good fender that fits mine. I'm going to try to trade him a fender. He doesn't know that yet, but I'm going to try. But I've got a hood that's workable. I got the radiator support, which I got a weld on the hood. I got a weld on the radiator support. I've got 2 inner fender wells that I can cut and fix the rust. And every part that I bought, the $500 deal, I got to fix. So it was a horrible deal. My buddy had already said yes before I got there, and I was pretty much stuck with it. I could have just said, no, I don't want to do it, but that could affect that relationship in the future. So $500 to try to keep a hunting relationship together. We'll do what we got to do. When you see these leaf springs, see the stock leaf springs on the square body, they don't have any of the curve. They're just completely flat. I'll show it on those. These right here are heavy duty, and they give you the lift that you need. These are pretty much like 1-ton springs. I think they're 3 leaves shy of a 1-ton spring. Fun, fun, fun. Another shock. Like I said, I've got, I think, 3 more shocks to pull off that thing. And I tried to keep as much of the hardware as I could. And this is with the block on it. That tells you how massive they are. That's how much higher this is going to be up off the ground. And of course I was awakened this morning by airplanes dive bombing and the circus next door. Wow, this sucks. Ah! The tires are probably 10, I'd say they're probably 10 or 12 years old, but there's no dry cracking on them at all. None. This has got the most amount of rust, but luckily I've got some rust remover. We can solve that problem, can't we? Then we'll get the last one out and then I'll show you the difference between 35s like mine and 36s. Now I'm not going to be doing off-roading per se. Somebody cut this wheel trying to get the lug nut off. God dang, they did. I made a weld on this wheel. I didn't even see that. Somebody boogered this one up bad. I guess the wheel came loose, or the studs came loose. Probably the studs came off because the one wheel I took off, it didn't have the 2 lug nuts on it, and the studs looked like they were coming loose. But it looks like it watered this one out, and they used a die grinder to cut into the wheel itself. I don't think it's going to break out, but I will be welding it just in case, since I see it now. Wow, that's huge. That's like 3 inches taller. That's a lot bigger. A lot bigger. You can see the cut right there. I can grind that down and fill that up with weld. But you see how they're kind of wallowed out. Not too bad. But you see the difference here. That's like 3 inches taller all the way around. So that's the difference between a Super Somper and the Coopers I have on it right now. I gave $500 for these Coopers and they didn't have but 500 miles. A boy bought them and put them on this Ranger, and either they didn't fit his Ranger or his Ranger, I'd say his Ranger probably didn't have enough power to pull them. But I paid $500 for them tires. They were like brand new, so I'm happy. And as you see, I don't put many miles on my Bronco at all. I love it. I just don't want it to get boogered up, and it's just not as enjoyable to drive as it used to be. Shifting gears and climbing in and falling out of it, and you know I'm gonna have that problem with this climbing in and falling out. But this truck's gonna be a workhorse. This truck's gonna be there to haul stuff, to drag cars, to move wood around the property, or to take my houseboat to the water. But you can see the size. That's a brand new Yokohama. That's a good tire right there. But if I had to buy these tires right there, they're $249. Now these Super Swampers, these right here, depending on where you shop, between $500 and $700 a piece. A piece. Now they've got some life taken out of them, but I'll never wear that tire out. I will never use that tire up at all. It's got all the life that I'll ever need for me. So, as you can see, Super Swampers. But we got to go down there today, and the boy didn't have hardly any tools at all. He said his stepdad died, and he went hustling a bunch. I mean, it wasn't a good situation to be in. He's an old redneck boy with a bunch of buddies that come over and they're drinking beer and smoking dope, and that was me years ago. Drinking beer and smoking dope, and there's just nothing good comes from it. Nothing good. Anything that takes you, the Bible says to be sober-minded in all you do. So this is the lift block here. So you get lift out of the block, and you get lift out of the springs. Now, I'll show you the way a square body spring is, and listen, I'm learning with you guys too. You've seen on the channel, I've worked with Chevy motors before. Chevy products are good. But you see there's zero angle on the stock springs. There's nothing really giving you suspension at all. You just got that stock spring that's actually convex instead of concave. So we're going to pull them off and put the heavy duty ones on. Everything should bolt up the same. Please, Lord, please, please, please. So that'll get the front lifted, and then we'll change out the shocks, because I don't know if I showed you guys, the shocks have actually rusted off of this truck. Rusted off. Let me see if I can find them. Yeah. See that shock? It's about, the whole top's about rusted off of it. Let me show you the other one. It's probably easier to see, I'd say. Yeah, see that one's rusted off? Not good. So I got to get this thing, I got to get a transmission cooler for it, and clean up the transmission lines, because they've been patched and hokeyed together. These are transmission lines here. Got to get a cooler, get those hooked up, get it cranked up. It'll actually crank right now the way it is, but I got to get these lines wired into each other. That way I'm not losing tranny fluid. And then pull it up, get it level, or park it back here. I'll probably put it back over here where all the water washes through, my little flood zone. I'll probably put it down there where it's level, and then lay a bunch of plastic down to work on, and then we'll start getting it up in the air and doing one leaf spring a day. Hopefully this will tide me over until I can get either the property or make a decision on building a houseboat. As you can see, the rust remover did a lot of good. This right here is the pitman arm. You see it has no real lift to it. The pitman arm that goes with the lift, it comes up to here. And that keeps your steering, this steering shaft right here, straight. If I put the lift kit on it without changing the pitman arm, this right here would be up here. And when you put that steering arm right there in a bind. And you don't want your steering binding up. See that? You don't want your steering to be bound up. Because if it is, it's dangerous, extremely dangerous. But as you can see how the leaf spring flexes like that, that's not good. And that's from the factory. So we don't want that at all. So we're going to fix that. We're going to put these big springs on it. Like I said, I got to go all the way to Dallas, North Carolina, and pull the rest. I think the guy's got a funeral or something he's got to go to this afternoon. So we're going to wait around. I should have went earlier today, but I'm having a hard time getting up. That was a lot of work yesterday on me. It really hurt my body going all the way. Climbing around on dirt is not fun when you're an old man like me. We'll put this rust remover on it. And as the planes come over, non-stop, and the dogs start up, non-stop. Let me see if I can get my, and you'll hear the plane, loud as it can be, come over. They gotta be nosy. They gotta know what I'm doing at all times. I didn't like this gel stuff when I first bought it. is rust remover, but it actually works pretty good. I mean, would you like to have that loud ass playing over your house all the time? It's not enjoyable, I'll tell you that much. That's already eating through the rust. Already eating the rust. I'll use that and some steel wool, get all that off. I'll probably use some paint thinner to get the blue off of them. But I think the front ones are probably the worst. They got a Pacer center cap, but I doubt they're Pacers. I don't know what kind they are. They're a cheaper wheel, but they are a steel wheel. Aluminum wheels are great. They're lightweight, but you don't want an aluminum wheel to go four-wheeling because aluminum wheels bend and crack. You seen when the big craze came out with 24-inch wheels and they had the spinners in the middle? My buddy worked at a machine shop, and that's all he did all day long was fix those wheels. They had the little skinny tires, but they're big wheels. He spent all day long straightening them wheels out, having to weld them where they actually hit so hard they crack and break. We don't want no broken wheels. We want heavy duty. I just hope that's a 400 small block, because I think I about made the decision we're going to pull the front end off the motor and put a mother thumper cam. Mother thumper cam, that's the largest cam that you can go to in a Chevy small block where you don't have to do any head work. You don't have to clearance the valves. So we'll probably put in a mother thumper cam. Google mother thumper cam on YouTube, look it up. The sound of it is just amazing. I love the sound of mother thumper cam, and probably eventually I'm gonna put side pipes on it. That'll kill a little bit of my ground clearance, but that's okay. I've always loved side pipes. Anything I get an opportunity to change and put side pipes on, I do it. Why haven't I done it to my Bronco? Because it's worth more leaving it somewhat stock. So that's my reasoning. That's my thought pattern. Anyway, I'm Stuart Pidlon, the most targeted citizen. This is the Prozac to the square body blues. God bless.